They are Singaporean actor and actress Edwin and Rachel.
She invited me to a party.
Oh, we're talking about that.
Oh shit! You're dating for a year and now you're leaving the country and probably not coming back.
If you leave all your career and friends and family, what's the worst that can happen?
Do you also feel like escaping corporate Singapore to go overseas to pursue your dreams? This is your daily Ketchup.
Today we have a very special guest, Mr. Lu. Welcome to the show.
Amen.
Mr. Lu, so I hear that you want to talk about how we can keep public toilets clean.
That's right. Let's break it down.
Let me drop some wisdom, drop a routine. 4 steps to keep it clean in the bathroom scene. Step 1, wipe the seat, no trace of your jeans. Step 2, full flush, keep it fresh and pristine. Step 3, hands dry, don't make a mess of the scene. You use towels or a dryer, keep the floor clean. Step 4, don't let her keep the place serene. Bin or flush your paper, you know what I mean.
Clean, flush, dry, and bin. Clean, flush, dry, and bin. Clean, flush, dry, and bin.
Let's be nice, even when no one's looking.
Clean, flush, dry, and bin. Clean, flush, dry, and bin. Clean, flush, dry, and bin.
Let's be nice, even when no one's looking. Sherms, I just had the weirdest dream. We were talking to a rapping toilet bowl on the show, like it was talking about clean.
Hello everybody, today we have two very special guests with us. They are Singaporean actor and actress Edwin and Rachel.
Hey, welcome.
Welcome to the show.
No, so right, I followed your journey the moment I realized, I don't know how I realized that you're just up and left the country, right? in the height of your prime years in your career, right? Then I'm like, wow, that has been such a fantasy for me. Like, just be like, go, you know?
Yep.
And I think about in another life, if I didn't have to run a business, would I do the same? Because I've always wanted to. And this guy talks about it like every like 3 times a day. Like just fucking off and just go and live in a cave or in the forest for 2 years, then come back, that kind, right? And we just thought
The
like, you know,
destination very different.
we just thought it'd be fun to like kind of know the experience, the impulse. What exactly made y'all wanna? What was a push factor so strong that either push you out of the country or a pull factor that put you out of the country? And what was it like leaving all that behind?
I think it was mostly like the pain of staying was bigger than the pain of going.
What do you mean by the pain of
Where is the
staying?
pain?
Like we just felt very like, I know on the outside it seemed like we are at the prime of our careers. I mean, objectively when we think about it, it is. But at the same time, the idea of prime is a bit like, oh, okay, like to us right here, it feels like prime is that's it. It's not enough for us.
Right.
So we do believe that there is like more out there, and for us, cause like we are in the acting industry, right? So in Singapore, it's not that big. So we part of the pool was because we knew that Australia has a bigger acting industry. Like a lot of Hollywood productions cast in Australia.
Yeah.
So there are a lot of auditions that we've been having. It's like we would never even get a whiff of it in Singapore. You know, so we might have been in our prime in Singapore, but it wasn't like enough for us.
You're going there still to pursue acting.
Partially.
I see.
So for those of you who might be a bit confused why the two of them are on the show together, is because they're dating.
Hey, can I just say, right? I don't remember we've ever met in person, right? But my wife and I saw the both of you all being super disgusting, right? And you all remember what I'm talking about before I say it?
I know. Can you please recreate it with him?
It was it was an Upbox. I swear to God, it was an Upbox at Expo, right? And shout outs to Ken and SGAG for a solid aircon Upbox. And they just I swear to God, and then back then, right, I don't know whether it was news that they were together yet. So I think it was quite low key, and then I recognized them, but obviously we're not friends, right? And then they just sat down there, right? Eye contact at this level.
Oh, they are gonna reenact.
They never talk, For like 3 hours or some
3
shit. Like,
hours?
Oh yeah.
Why are you
They
standing
just-
there for 3 hours?
no, because we go and buy food, we come back, you finish already, we go and buy food, we come back, you finish already, we go and buy food, we come back, they're still just smiling at each other. Hey, what the heck?
No, we were doing a lot of things in between. But then when you come back, you just caught us staring at each other.
They're just like holding their hands like, oh my gosh. Like some 15-year-old love, which I love lah.
It's like how
A
you
bit
study
gross
very
lah, I
hard,
love
but
it.
every time your mother come in, you using phone.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. Because Pat and I was gossiping, we're like, oh, they damn in love, yeah. You think last time we like that, no?
Can you all tell us how you all met? Because I know you all actually met in school, but
Right.
it was like
Yeah.
a past
You're
life.
reconnected in Artbox, right? I'm so honored.
Yeah, we were actually in the same school, in the same course. I was 1 year above her, and but throughout the school we just did not talk.
Yeah,
at
we
all.
never talked. Also because we
Yeah.
were with different people.
Yeah.
Right.
At
And
the
then-
same time, she has a lot of friends in my class, so a lot of times I'll just see her coming to my class and
Yeah.
talk to people.
But both of y'all were cool kids or?
I mean, he was.
Wasn't-
I think I'm okay.
I thought she was the cool kid. Yeah.
Sick.
But you got like OGL vibes.
Yeah.
What's
yeah.
OGL?
Like the orientation group leader. Like you are the facilitator kind.
Yeah.
No, he's the
You're the
slacker.
sunshine
in
boy.
school.
Oh my god, you have no idea. Like my teacher subbed me to be the class rep. And
Right.
it was just
Means
the
you're
worst.
naughty lah. Usually
Yeah.
naughty people.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I was a class rep.
So how did So how did y'all reconnect after that?
We were cast in this Channel 8 show called Strike Gold,
Right.
which was a miracle because my Chinese is not that great.
Yeah.
And I even asked the producer, "Are you sure?" They were like, "Oh, we want to give you the role," and I was like, "Are you sure? Like, you know, my Chinese is bad, right?" And then she was like, "Yeah, we're just like we were looking for new faces to be on Channel 8," and I was like, I take that as a miracle because then I was cast.
But
as
you could
like,
read lah, the script.
I could read. I can.
Okay lah,
can
then you're
memorize.
damn good already
But she
lah.
was really hardworking. She got like a Chinese teacher and stuff to help her with all her
Yeah.
lines. Like
Yeah,
Which
but
paid for by?
my own money.
Oh dang.
Yeah.
To be honest, I also typecast Channel 8 actors. Yeah. I didn't expect him to come in with his English accent like that.
no, you have no idea
thought
how
like
much
you
I
like that, you
how
know?
much I struggle in Channel 8 because at the start I
Oh.
did I started from in the English channel.
Channel
Right.
Yeah, so it was difficult because like with acting, it's like if you're always constantly thinking about the language, you can't really focus on like being natural. So yeah, but then I was cast as his love interest, so then it started
see.
from there.
It was a pleasure watching her speak Mandarin.
Right.
Yeah. At first, I didn't know he was single because like everyone knew he was attached to someone else, right?
Right.
Yeah. So I just didn't really give him a glance. But then we started talking in the.
Which means you found him cute lah.
I mean, I've always thought he was good looking, even in school. It's just like, oh, okay, objectively good looking, but he was
Right.
never really my type.
Right.
Yeah. And then we started talking like in between scenes, and then we realized that like we have so much in common.
Yeah.
It was crazy. And then one day, like we were having
Same
lunch.
school.
Yeah,
It's like
same
Kolai.
school.
Yeah.
It's like Kolai.
Like what?
It's a bit like Kolai.
It's
Y'all-
another
them-
fellow TikTok stars.
You know who's Kolai?
Oh, no.
Kolai and Josephine.
Uncle
Ah,
Raymond's
fuck.
friends.
Oh, my god, no.
They
So they
also
came on
met,
the show. They said like that also, no?
Oh my god.
they also met on MediaCorp and then now they're on TikTok.
Yeah.
god.
Oh, wow.
So how did you then find out he was single?
He mentioned it. Like,
When
I
we were
remember
talking,
over lunch. He just, I don't know why he also brought it up. I don't
I
know.
know,
He
at the same
purposely
time,
went-
at the same time, because I didn't know she was single too, because for a long time that I've known her.
Oh, yeah, like he knew my ex too. Like
Yeah.
we were all in the
dang.
same circle.
Yeah,
We even have a
'cause it's
group
like-
photo together.
That's how small Singapore is. Like everyone knows each other.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. But like I don't know, we just started talking and we just realized like, oh shit, I really enjoy talking to her.
Yeah.
Then?
Then,
Then you slip it into the conversation that you're single and then
yeah.
But there's one significant day where she invited me to a party. And
Oh, we're talking about that.
Oh shit. We know what happened that night, but tell us what happened that day.
Yeah, no, I invited him to like, cause my friend organized like a party. It was like a private party, but it was a really big one. Then I invited him, and then he showed up, and then drinks happened.
Yeah. I mean,
This is why we gotta split them up.
yeah.
No, so sorry. Prior to this, you all haven't gone out like one-on-one yet, or
Never. It was the
yeah.
first time like
Like we met outside of work.
Yeah, I invited him to the
okay.
party.
so she
Yeah.
made the first
So all the
move lah.
sexual tension built up was insane lah.
I think it was
Basically, what you're
both.
saying.
Yeah, it really added to the show.
Now I'm gonna find a clip. Did your character in the show get together?
At the end, yeah.
Yeah.
All like fairy tale happy endings.
Yeah.
Right.
All media
So who got together first? The characters?
What do you mean?
or-
We did. I don't know. We
Were
did.
we still shooting? We were still shooting,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
we
yeah.
were because we had
We
shoot
were.
the next day.
Yep.
The next day, we didn't actually get to talk about like what
Yo,
this meant.
she probably ignored me.
Yeah, no, because I was-
she just like ignored me, and it was like as if the party didn't happen at all. Yeah.
Ooh. No,
Yeah.
but okay, but what are your individual thoughts? Perhaps this might be the first time you are sharing this, right? What are your
Yeah.
individual thoughts, right? Post whatever happened that you're
Oh yeah.
skirting around.
We talked about that. Yeah.
we didn't get to because we had shoot the next day, so we had to rush off.
Yeah.
And then the next time we saw each other was on set at 7 a.m. And to me, I thought that because I've
was
always
drunk. Yeah.
I thought that I had my impression of him was that he was a playboy. So I thought it's just gonna be like a fling thing.
Yeah.
So on set I was trying to be professional. I tried to act professional and just treat him like a normal friend. And I think I overcompensated. And then he got paranoid. He was
Yeah,
like,
she
"Why are you
like
being cold to me?"
Yeah, she flat out ignored me. Like, in the past, at least when we're professional, we'll still be like, hey, hi. But nowadays, she was just like, hi. What?
So how did you eventually resolve that?
I mean, just decided to talk about it.
Yeah, and then he
Who
he
decided
was
to talk about it?
Yeah,
he texted me on set.
Why
Like
you
we-
ignore me?
Yeah, he was like, "Are you okay?" And something like that. He texted me while we were on set. We were 2 meters across. He texted me, and then he asked if I wanted to hang out and stuff. And then slowly we started hanging out every day.
Right.
And then we realized that we actually didn't get tired of seeing each other every single day.
Well,
Yeah, even until now actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
so y'all got together first
Yeah.
before the
Yeah,
character.
yeah,
The
yeah.
producer must be so happy, but they don't know lah. You cannot say right, cause
Yeah.
Mediacorp starting.
They don't
like-
know, yeah. But her manager then on set with us took a lot of clips of us eyeing each other out.
No, it was my PA, not my manager.
your PA,
yeah. She was trying to take BTS for me, and I'm not sure if she realized it, but she caught many snapshots of us just eyeing each other.
Just couldn't
I
maintain.
also-
What is she looking at?
Just couldn't
They
maintain.
are really big on eye contact, guys.
Yeah.
What do you think it is about the other that was different from all the previous relationships that you had?
Well, just now we mentioned about fighting or whatever, but I feel with her, I could put down my ego aside very easily.
Right.
Yeah.
Like it's almost as though your ego don't matter when it comes to her.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like sick.
Yeah, and also I've never met anyone that I am on such an equal wavelength with. It's sometimes we think about the same things and we say at the same time all the time.
Right.
So it's really my bestest friend in the whole world.
You all kind of look alike as well.
We get that a lot. I think
Yeah.
it's the dimples.
I'm half Filipino.
Lucky.
She
Lucky.
is,
No need to
but
do
I'm not.
ancestry
What
report.
if 2 years down the road, right, you all realize you are distant cousins?
Yeah, thankfully we did the circle. We did that circle's DNA test.
Yeah.
thankfully. Yeah, so she's 33% Vietnamese.
Right.
And I'm
Quite
hun-
far lah.
No, I still have Chinese blood though, so it might be
You
possible.
are 100% Han Chinese.
Yeah, Eastern Chinese.
I see. So okay, sorry, I'm very curious about your move to Australia, right? Who mooted this conversation? Let's get the hell out of here.
Me. A year before that, I actually went on a travel shoot with Ryan.
Right.
And we went to Sydney, and that was my first time in Australia. And it was it was literally, I fell so in love with Sydney that on that trip, I already started Googling how do I
Right.
stay in Sydney longer. And that's how I found the visa. And I always had it in my mind to if I'm really just so sick of Singapore, I'm just gonna go there.
Yeah.
And then I met him, I started seeing each other, and then getting to know each other, we realized that we both have this
We wanted to take our career elsewhere.
yeah, and we were just both quite exhausted in Singapore. So, and we both had always had the dream to live overseas and just adapt to a new environment and stuff like that. So then it was he was like, yeah, sure, let's go. And
Yeah, I
serious,
haven't been to Australia prior to
Yeah.
this move. Yeah, at all.
But you have a Mediacorp contract. You have
Yeah.
you have all the things going for you in Singapore. So when were you just very in love, or you? Oh shit, my Lucas come out. Were you just very in love, or?
Well, I mean, definitely, but at the same time, I always wanted to take my career elsewhere, my acting career elsewhere. At first, we were
Right.
looking at LA as well,
Right.
but so meeting each other, we realized we have this goal of furthering our career overseas. So it makes sense, to get the visa in Australia because Australia is really connected to the international scene, and the visa is easier to be obtained compared to America. Yeah.
And do you think, because now you are staying together in Australia, right? What is that like? Because a year might not seem like a very long time, and then having to move in together might be quite a huge jump.
Yeah, I think our friends are kind of surprised at how brave we are because like dating for a year is completely different from moving in together for you know
And
for
to
a year.
another country.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
to
It's
another
like
country.
a double whammy.
Yeah, so we did hear like a lot of people who are like commenting like, oh, what would happen if we quarrel? Like, what are you gonna do? But like, you know, of course, during our journey, we do have little squabbles and quarrels, but of course, we worked it out.
Yeah.
You know?
Your biggest fights happened while you're still in Singapore, or your biggest fights happened when you're over there?
I think
Wow.
equal lah.
I
Or
think,
spread
yeah,
out.
pretty spread out.
So fight a lot lah.
So you're
Yeah, of course we do.
as you should.
Yeah, but
I wouldn't say a lot lah.
yeah.
Like it's a lot less than my previous relationship for sure.
but these are like productive battles, you know, like
Yeah.
after the, yeah, it's like after
Yeah.
the battle and like we have the conclusion. It's like, oh, it brought us closer.
Did your parents freak out? Like, who is this new boy? Like, that's one. Like, you're dating for a year and now you're leaving the country and probably not coming back. Like, what was that divorce from Singapore like?
My mom is pretty like hippie. She's like completely like, oh, you do what makes you happy and stuff like
Wow.
that. So I think for me it was very easy. It wasn't like it was a no brainer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, thankfully my second sister, she took the working holiday visa in New Zealand, so she took one for the team. So like for me, I'm following in her footsteps.
Like the sibling that get married first.
Yeah.
That's so important.
Living together, what do you think is the most shocking thing you've learned about each other?
I don't think there was anything. Actually, we get this question a lot. Like, oh, do you find out any pet peeves of Edwin and all that? I'm like, surprisingly, none. Like none. Like he's the easiest to live with.
Oh,
and
shit.
like,
You look
Yeah.
surprised.
Yeah, no, I
You're
mean,
surprised?
Either way.
no, like even yesterday, I was hanging out with my friends. They're like, "Oh, so what was the one thing you found out about each other?" I'm like, I can't think of any. And if anything, it's quite cool that like we even got the chores like figured out, and he just you know like so I hate doing the laundry, and she hates doing the dishes.
yeah. So we just each take the
Yeah.
other.
And it's like
Right.
solved. Yeah.
Nice.
Although he's a lot less messy in Australia than he is in Singapore. So that was
Because it's
that
a
was a
own place
pleasant,
kind of thing, right?
probably.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, and like she did mention like maybe in my room it's more like I have like my depression pile. You know, it's like you know,
The heck is that?
it's like you know you're used to it. You're used to having.
So you
like,
don't
this.
touch all that mess.
Yeah.
Like everything you come and you usually pile there, then you don't touch.
But okay. And so from the time where y'all say like, okay, let's perhaps take this a bit more seriously, to the time y'all flew off, what was that? What was that period?
Oh, we were counting down the days. We had to wait for the visa.
Yeah.
His took like mine took 2 weeks to approve. His took 2 months.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Oh.
Yeah. Sometimes it's like that, but we kept ourselves occupied. We launched like our last collection before we flew off, in our for our crochet business. Yeah, and so that kept our hands like busy while like looking forward to the move.
Right.
It literally kept your hands busy.
Yeah.
And so that was the backup plan to a certain extent. Because y'all flew there without securing a job there, right?
Yeah. I kind of did.
Okay.
Yeah.
What did you secure? What can I say?
So it was quite an interesting like kind of event. So I was at a fragrance event in Singapore
Right.
as like a actor attending the event.
Yeah.
And then I spoken to the brand people and they were like, oh, you're moving to Sydney. Okay, let's see if we can hook you up and get a job there and whatever.
Wow.
Yeah. So now I'm doing retail, selling perfumes.
Wow.
Yeah, it's quite interesting. Like partially, like for me, the main reason why I want to move is that I've never really had any other jobs in my life other than acting. So like I've been acting as other occupations, but I do not know what it actually feels
Yeah.
like.
Oh yeah.
Haven't
Yeah.
collected the life experience.
Yeah,
to
so
draw
I'm
on.
like, listen to the people. Oh, getting a real job, yeah. So now I'm doing retail, and it's quite a mind-blowing experience.
mind-blowing.
Yeah.
Was it a tough time getting adjusted? I mean, in Singapore, you get recognized and people ask you for pictures. Clearly, I mean, I also did retail, right? I mean, nothing against the job, but of course,
Yeah,
from a celebrity in Singapore to doing retail in Australia, was there
like-
something that you had to be like,
Well, I think that is something I can never experience in Singapore anymore. Because if I were to do retail in Singapore, no one would take me seriously, I think. Because they're like, hey, yeah, are you like acting or is this a prank show?
Where's the camera?
Where's the camera? Yeah. Yeah. So like in Australia, I can do that. Occasionally, like if they are fellow Singaporeans, they'll be like, are you? Yeah. But other than that, like I really get to just talk to people as a retail staff.
Right.
Yeah.
So at the same time, you all quickly went to get like casting agents and get
Yeah.
representation in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how was that? Was
That-
it very much different from Singapore?
Very, it's a whole different ball game there. I mean, obviously it's much bigger. The competition's bigger, but we were quite lucky. We managed to find one manager that we're really happy with, and yeah, and I guess it also helps for us because we already came in with a lot of credentials. So it was easier for us to find agencies that were interested in us.
Yeah.
So, I mean, on the note of your acting careers, right, you did talk a bit about the limitations of the local market. I mean, one being the size of it, and two, I think the fact that there's only one main broadcasting station, right? So, and to be very blunt, I think the public does have like they view MediaCorp as like a low standard kind of thing. What are your thoughts on that?
Like, I think all of us could remember like the MediaCorp shows, and we can remember so vividly.
Yeah.
And they're like, wow, they're like some really good content right there.
Holland V.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like
Xiao
we
Niang Re.
things like that. We
Little
do
Nyonya.
have it really fondly in our hearts.
Yeah.
And I think somewhere along the way something happened. But honestly, nowadays, I can see there's a lot of camera techniques are picking up. Scripts are getting more interesting actually, and there's actually a larger pool of younger actors
Yeah.
than before.
Yeah, there's a sick amount
know?
of
Yeah.
Like you suddenly don't know half of them.
Yeah,
Mm.
so
Yeah.
actually that it shows promise, But I think a lot of us now are very. We want to watch our Netflix. We want to watch our own other
Yeah.
things. Yeah, and
Yeah.
but it's good. There's like pros and cons to everything, right? So
Yeah.
like in Australia, yes, it's a bigger industry. That means there's more competition and we have to fight harder. But at the same time, like in Singapore, it's a more close knit industry, and it is a safer space for you to like hone your craft.
Right.
It is safe. You'll always get jobs. Like I know I will continue acting no matter what if I stay here. Like there will be jobs.
Yeah.
But like,
But you don't like life to be so easy, yeah.
no, I mean,
You like pain.
yeah.
Sorry, but when you talk about honing your craft and all this, right? Like, is that really the? I'm curious to know because like I see a lot of people who are just like influencers who just get the big gigs, right? Is that not
Yeah.
frustrating?
It is very frustrating. And I think also like, I mean, y'all were talking about how like, we remember Holland V and all that. But sometimes I do question like, is it so great in our minds because we didn't have like comparison?
Alternatives, yeah.
So maybe in our minds it's like, we would think like, oh, this is great. So it stays, the impression stays in our mind. But if we watch it again right now, are we going to think the same thing?
Right. Or if
You know
back
what I
then there was Mr. Beast, why still watch that show lah?
Yeah, or like back then if we had...
Interesting. Mr. Beast was what you got for.
or like
a
back
YouTube
then...
alternative. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right,
yeah,
right,
yeah.
exactly. Or if we had like access to like Friends and all that, which were probably made in the same year, but the standard is we don't know yet. We haven't really compared.
Yeah.
And like to me, it's like it's difficult. To me, I don't feel like it's a safe space to hone my craft because there's a lot of censorship. There's a lot of things that you cannot push, you cannot do this, cannot do that. I've been on productions where the blood sound cannot be too real because too scary, So there's a lot of boundaries we cannot push. So I don't think there's a lot of space to hone the craft. There's a lot of space to do it safely, say the line safely, say the approved line safely, but that's it. I don't feel like actors in Singapore have that space to be pushed to their... Because I know a lot of very talented actors in Singapore, but I feel like they don't have the space to actually explore their full potential.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But on a real talk though, is it more lucrative acting there?
Oh, definitely 10 times more lucrative.
really?
Yeah. Yeah, like the amount of... The pay you get as like maybe a supporting cast here per day is the same as one extra gets in Australia. That's how different it is. Yeah.
And like over there,
Let's go.
the incentives are just different. Like over there, like food is provided for.
Oh yeah, apparently over there on
Yeah,
set.
in most productions lah, only MediaCorp don't give food lah.
Yeah.
You work with any production house in Singapore, they give you food.
MediaCorp doesn't
That's
give food, so
true.
it's lunchtime, then everyone just go to the food court.
Now they're improving.
Oh.
Especially when they work with third-party production houses, then they commission content. Those got food.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, then
We have
the
good
in-house
food.
dramas you really see heng sui one. Yeah.
No, but I think it's so interesting. I mean, especially for you because you went there without securing a job first, right? And I think 2 or 3 friends that in the past few years also moved overseas for work. And I think at the back of almost every Singaporean's mind, they would want to go overseas to work to live, but on the side to work,
Yeah.
like for a period of time. And then now, like when you are younger, those chances also open up. Like whether you are in school, you get to go overseas to do CIP or like. I think there was this like non-profit organization also called The Hut. Then they send kids to Manchester United
dude.
for free because of PSLE results. So it's like all these opportunities are opening up. And then I feel like it also keeps me on my toes, like thinking like, wow, do I want to do this like before I turn 30? So both of you also being under 30, right? Do you have any thoughts towards that?
Well, I think one thing we know that, okay, this is for a year at least. And we know maybe when we are 35 or 40, we'll look back and we'll be like, wow, that year is actually just really short. And we will be glad that we took that year off to explore something so different.
Yeah.
Then like, oh, that's just another year. Like, I don't even remember it.
Yeah, a lot of my friends who have done the work holiday visa, they say it's the best year of their lives. So it's like you will never regret it.
You can be below 30 or something, right?
Yes.
I'm out already.
Yeah.
Below
No, this-
31.
It's also out. If they increase to 33, I also out.
But thank you.
Yeah.
So now does it, for the most part, is it like holiday mode almost every day, or are you all actually like working
We're
most of the
actually
time?
I'm working a lot,
working.
actually.
Yeah, we're working. We're also we're going to an acting school now, so we're working
Yeah,
and
okay.
studying.
Yeah.
So it's pretty much like normal life there now, but it just feels a lot lighter because like we're still like taking in the new environment and
Yeah.
like it's become quite like familiar with us now. Like we're familiar with Sydney now,
Yeah.
but it still feels fresh and like and also like the weather is better.
Like,
so
like,
much.
we've never experienced a change of seasons before.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like usually when you travel, you see like a place that's already in winter or like
Right.
summer
Yeah,
or
yeah,
spring.
Yeah.
But like from the moment we moved there, where the trees were all bare and like botak lah basically, until like within 2 weeks you can see the leaves grow out and they became like actual
Yeah.
trees.
Yeah,
you know?
so it was very beautiful. Like it's something that we as Singaporeans never got to experience. Like watching the same tree bloom within the different seasons and seeing it change and the colors changing. It was like I feel like it's something worth experiencing once in a life. Yeah.
So for people who are thinking of maybe trying this out, right, or moving to Australia short term, is there any piece of advice or something that they
What are the
need to
other-
look out for?
Yeah, like what are the other considerations you need to make before making a move like that?
Definitely, you have to visit the place first, see whether you like it, the environment. Yeah, which he didn't.
But honestly, Australia is so huge and the visa allows you to work in anywhere in Australia. And yeah, it's
You thought to yourself, if you didn't like Sydney, you'll just go another one lah.
Yeah.
yeah, we can go figure out where else. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the plan is to explore Australia anyways.
Right.
Yeah. And sort of like the visa does tell you like, oh, you need to have this amount in your savings, blah blah blah. So make sure you're prepared. And
Which is the amount?
Yeah, what amount?
It's not a huge amount. I think it's like 5K.
5K.
yeah, like recently we were at a tour in Cairns, and our tour guide, he used to be a lawyer
Right.
in
Yeah.
Argentina, but he just decided to
Just go become a tour guide in Australia and he's just so much happier.
Wow.
yeah.
Yeah, I got so many friends doing that. So also
John,
Yeah.
cover your ears.
Yeah. But I think also like most importantly, you have to ask yourself like, if you leave all your career and friends and family, like what's the worst that can happen? And if you can deal with that worst, then you're able to move. You know what I mean? Like, and
Right.
also you got to remember that like you're always a ticket away back to Singapore. You can come back anytime.
Yeah.
Especially with this Australian work holiday visa, it's like it's only for a year. You can extend it if you want, but like you can just come back anytime. No
And a
one's
year
stopping
is
you.
so fast, it's so short. Like half of it is almost gone now.
because it
Yeah.
feels like a holiday lah to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also like I mean, the hard part is like leaving your friends behind. So there were many months in Sydney where I actually felt a bit lonely. Like I missed my friends. It was a bit. I mean, obviously the first few months is a bit hard to like make friends because everyone has like they have their own friends already, especially at this age, and the culture is very different. I mean, I'm quite lucky. I have some Singaporean friends there too, but obviously it doesn't beat like the friends you grew up with here.
Yeah.
So it can get lonely, but. I just had to remember that I can just fly back anytime, and I mean in your adult life, or sometimes you see your friends every few months anyway,
Yeah.
So but eventually very quickly we started making like local friends there,
Right.
so it became very easy. And and the culture there also is very like, I don't know, a lot of people always say, oh, be careful of like racists in Australia. It is so diverse there. Like it's way more diverse than even Singapore is. Like if Singapore wants to call itself a diverse city, it cannot compare to Sydney.
Right.
In Sydney, it really feels like it's no man's land. I don't feel like a minority at all.
Right.
So it's very nice, and it's very open, and people are more open to like kind of people like on the streets in Sydney. You can have a random conversation with a old man, and they're very like they can have a full-on conversation with you and not be like closed off. So
Right.
it's very easy to like make friends there.
Yeah, like I
You've
was
done, presumably.
Yeah.
You're just
Yeah.
like strike a conversation with a random woman.
Like I was at Spotlight buying pillows, and then an old lady just came and was like, "Oh, pillows, right? So hard to choose." And I was like,
Dinner?
we're just like, I can't decide on which ones, and we're just discussing, and she's giving me tips, and then we're just like hugging pillows and like talking.
Then after that, you walk over, then she's the cashier.
Commission.
After we're like, have a like good luck in finding your pillow. We're like, oh, okay, thank you. Yeah, it's
I cannot see that happening in Singapore.
Yeah.
Like, if I do that to the auntie next to me at supermarket, she think I siao.
yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, it happens a lot for me in Singapore.
Nice can of tomato.
I don't know. As in, this thing happens for me lah. So this is why I think if I go
Yeah.
to Sydney, right, where everything closes at 5, right?
Oh, it doesn't.
Oh, it doesn't?
Especially not in Sydney. Sydney, because it's a city, right? So
Yeah.
maybe the shopping malls, like your clothes and stuff, material things close at 5. But like your food, bars and everything open till really late.
I see.
Yeah.
Because I feel like that would be my first thing to do. Like take advantage of that arbitrage. Everybody close at 5, open at 5. 5 to 5 a.m.
You can have a clothing shop they open 5.
Sure, you know? Like what stops you from doing that? So many Chinese people around the world, why they're not doing that? All these Chinese people.
No, so it's the Chinese people
why I
that
follow
open late.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the Chinese shops
So
that
there's
open
nothing
late.
to stop you lah, right? So
Yeah.
when you go to many
All the Australians going home. Then
when you go to many places in Australia and those places close at 5, nothing is forcing them to close at 5, is it?
No,
No,
nothing.
yeah.
Yeah.
their lifestyle.
It's just a lifestyle.
They just
yeah.
like they just wanna like go and chill.
Profitable
Yeah.
center for us. Some of the minimum wage so high.
Yeah.
Spending power.
Increase your cost.
I love Sydney.
See you guys there. Nice.
Wait, so I think you all have spoken quite positively of the experience so far, right? But what are the negatives? Like, what is something that maybe like
Took the most
is
getting
better
used to.
in Singapore than in Australia?
Maybe most I can say is transport. Like here, your train comes. If your next train is 6 minutes, it's long already, right? There, it's quite normal to like sometimes there are train delays and we're waiting like I think the longest we've waited was like half an hour. Yeah, but then I don't know. It's just you're happy to wait because
We
it's
get
just so
used
chill.
to it. Like I forgot how like used to it. Like used to the transport system here. Like if you miss a train, it's like the next one is coming in like 2 to 3 minutes.
Right.
Over there, like we missed the train. We took the wrong train, and it added like 1.5 hours to our journey.
Right.
We're like, oh shit, we need to meet this time. And
Yeah, but then you get used to it once you learn the train system. Then it's very easy.
Right.
Yeah. Then other than that, again, I guess it depends on what you like. The streets there are obviously not as clean as Singapore. There are a lot of drug use is quite apparent there, but it's not like in your face. It's not like, oh, there are druggies everywhere.
and
it's
they
just,
won't come and like bother you. or
yeah, they'll just be like, once in a while you see someone that's obviously a bit off.
Yeah.
I think it feels quite safe there. More homeless people there, but not mostly in the city area. But we've been told that like apparently, I mean, we get told by locals that it's actually very hard to be homeless in Australia. The government takes care of you, so there are probably other reasons why they
Right.
prefer to sleep on the street. But yeah, other than that, I mean, if you prefer clean streets and very fast transportation, then Singapore. Oh, food is more expensive too.
A lot of people also talk about how like the pace there is a lot slower, the efficiency of
Yeah.
administration.
So,
and
like-
all this,
Yeah,
do you feel it or?
not enough to like make us want to come back.
So Singapore suck lah. Okay, we got it.
There are good parts. Like,
Yeah.
there are no hawker centers. So like for me, my day to day is like my chicken rice. Like, it's efficient, it's affordable, it's like get my protein in and stuff. Over there, you have no equivalent
Right.
of like that.
Right.
You know?
And y'all can cook.
Yeah.
We're getting better now. We have to. Yeah.
Instant noodle.
But do you all cook in Singapore last time?
No.
Not really.
No.
So it was a whole month of trying shit for a while. Lah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
essentially.
she ate a lot of my I cooked chicken adobo for her.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
But then
For someone who doesn't know,
but then I brought it to her and then she was like, what's this bak kut teh?
That's not bad.
No, and then there was one time he tried to cook for me veggies or something, and then you added allspice. Like, so there's this spice in Australia called allspice,
Right,
and
right.
we thought it's like some savory spice. No, it's a sweet spice.
Oh.
It's a
Right.
blend of like cinnamon and all that. So he made me cinnamon Brussels sprouts at one point because he didn't know. So
you might discover a new dish. So are you intending to stay in Australia permanently?
that's the goal.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the goal. That would be the dream.
But we will never like lose touch with
Yeah.
Singapore.
Yeah. Like at least that's the dream now, lah.
Yeah,
3 to
this is a
5 years
dream,
ago.
you know,
Yeah.
to go and explore and, maximize our stay in Australia. But I think it would not be wise to just cut off our Singapore ties.
Yeah. I'm never giving up my Singapore passport.
Oh, is
It's
it?
so
So you just want to
great.
stay there but be Singaporean.
But also there's a huge Singaporean community over there, so it's quite nice. But yeah, I mean, definitely like there's no way we can ever cut off Singapore because it's our family is here, our friends
Yeah.
are here,
Okay, so thank you very much for watching today's episode, and thank you very much for joining us, Rachel and Edwin.
Yay.
And of course, subscribe to them as well and follow their journeys. And we'll see you in the next episode. Bye bye.
Yeah, I miss like kopi si gao
Yeah.
so much. Right? I went to buy it, then I just like paid for it. I'm like, wait, how much is it again? $7 plus.
Right.
I was like,
It's a Starbucks beverage over there.
oh shit. But you know what we've been
Salary.
thinking? Like we need to open a Yakun over there.
Yeah, there's no kaya toast over there,
Yeah.
Gap in the market.
There's
and
only
so
one
many
Killiney, I
Asians
think.
there. Yeah.
Not very difficult to make also.
I know.
Some more the bread I can
Okay.
slice in half, then chop become 4 pieces.
Yeah.
But it's actually one.
It's true. It's true.